There we go. So, welcome to the first week of Let's Build with Ellen and Dustin podcast.
Yeah.
Kind of exciting.
It is.
Got
very exciting.
Camera set up for Facebook Live.
Yeah.
It'll go on YouTube later once we'd edit it a little bit.
Yep.
And then we will edit the actual podcast side of it and get it on some podcast things.
Yeah.
So, how excited are you?
I'm pretty excited. I think you're a little more excited. You've been wanting to do a podcast in some respect of our lives for a while, so
that I have. Podcasts can be fun just because, like working as many jobs as I work.
Yeah.
You get time to listen to some podcasts. Mm-hmm. And I've found there's some builders out on the East Coast. Okay. I think up in like the Delaware, Maine area that do like podcasts and they explain their process with people.
Yeah.
And I think it can be a very beneficial
Absolutely.
for people to understand what it takes to come into a studio or come to look at building a house.
Absolutely.
Because when you look at, this is one of the biggest purchases that somebody makes in their life.
Yeah.
I mean, they might make multiple times because they're looking at building or buying to work up to enough equity to build.
Right.
But I think it can be kind of intimidating when somebody gets ready to build.
Absolutely.
Why do you think it's intimidating?
I think it can be intimidating just because I think the number one thing we hear, and even before I got into this business with you, the first question that comes to mind is, I don't even know where to start.
Yeah.
Us ladies, mostly, we all have those Pinterest boards of, our dream home. And, you see that beautiful laundry room with the dog shower and the storage cubbies, but it's like, how do you even, what people do you need to build that and stuff? So we all have these dreams that we want, but it's, where do you start?
Yeah. And it's so hard because there's so many builders out there.
Absolutely.
For one, it's like, how do I find a builder? Mm-hmm. Two, how do I figure out which builder to use?
Yeah.
Because overall, I mean, construction is a general practice that it's consistent in a broad sense.
Right.
It's consistent from builder to builder to builder.
Right.
They're still using 2x6s, 2x4s,
right,
to get a house built. So it's, how do you figure out which builder to use? Mm-hmm. And I think that's kind of what our goals are with some of our podcasts.
Absolutely.
For one, we want to dig into the Wausau side of things.
Absolutely.
We want people to feel comfortable when they come into our design studio, or whether it's online talking with us through like Zoom or, Facebook, whatever, FaceTime, things like that.
Yeah.
But also, we want them to be able to build trust with whoever they use.
Absolutely.
Even if they don't use us, we want to educate them to know what to ask a builder.
Right.
And how to get their questions answered.
Right.
Because I think the most general comment that we get when somebody first walks in to talk to us, or even when they first email us, is, what's your price per square foot?
Absolutely.
And that's hard.
It is hard. It's especially with a custom home.
Yeah.
It's so hard because eventually, I think in one of these, we're going to do a little tour of the studio probably.
Absolutely.
And you'll see, and we don't even have all the selections here.
Yeah.
Just the wide variety of things you can choose, and really a price per square foot, it doesn't make sense to ask that. Because one, the finishes, two, the different, subcontractors and stuff like that. But I think when we were up in Wausau, we talked about that. Why do people ask price per square foot?
It's the only thing they know.
It's exactly. it's what they're told to ask.
Absolutely.
And so it's just so much of like, they think they need to ask that, but they don't really know why.
Yeah.
I think Len, one of the people up in Wausau, had said, if somebody asks you price per square foot, look at them and go, well, what number does that mean to you?
Yeah.
Like, what number do you want that to be? Because people don't care.
Well,
It's what's the whole total going to be?
Yeah. And part of it, I mean, you can go price per square foot at, say us, if we had price per square foot.
Right.
Which we don't typically give people price per square foot.
Not usually.
Because with Wausau, it's a firm price.
Absolutely.
Or ballpark price.
Right.
We don't do price per square foot.
Right.
But if we did price per square foot, our price per square foot could be something completely different in like our standard package.
Right.
As compared to another builder's price per square foot, because they're giving you a lot of allowances.
Right.
So that can kind of skew your price per square foot.
Right.
So there's a lot of things that can change with price per square foot, but that's just something I think one of these podcasts sometime, or one of these Facebook Lives,
we'll go through that.
we will start talking about that. But it's just, it's a very interesting concept that that's the first question I would say out of most people's mind is, hey, what's the price? What's your price per square foot? It can vary just because of custom home. Like I'm looking at lighting right in front of us, and that booklet that we only have 3 displays. That booklet looks like it's about 50 pages big.
Yeah, it is.
So it's just, I mean, there are so many different varieties, and one little thing can change that price per square foot by a lot.
Yeah.
But kind of going into it, we talk about, getting people in the door. I mean, obviously, with Wausau, it's completely different than most.
Yeah.
So there's a 3-step building process, which allows us to give people a firm price. Actually, we step back. It's a house your way.
Absolutely.
What does your way mean?
Your way just means simply that, I think we touched on it before, of one of the biggest complaints in new construction is it's not exactly what I wanted.
Absolutely.
I had a cabinet allowance, so I wasn't able to exactly get the cabinets I wanted, or this or that, or I'm getting ahead of myself. I was going to go into the other steps, but
you were.
But so the really important thing with Wausau is that we're building dream homes.
Absolutely.
That's what we say, is we're building people's dream homes, and so we want it to be your way. So, I mean, if you want to paint your living room wall bright orange, okay.
Yeah.
If you want to have green cabinets, okay.
Absolutely.
We'll make it work. We will make sure that you get what you want. I do a lot of the selection side of things.
Yeah.
So I'll be here with you and, looking through everything, and I spend a lot of time in the studio, and so I look and every day I see different things that, that would look cool together and stuff like that. So some people have no idea what they want.
Yeah.
And that's where we become that trusted advisor.
Absolutely.
And so just being able to do that, but yeah, it's what you want. This is your house. We're not living in it.
So in that step, in order to get that house the way that they want it, there's about 5 steps.
Right.
And ultimately, I mean, we're not going to cover all of them today because this would be like a 3-hour-long podcast, and we don't want that, or a video. So
we don't.
There's 5 steps.
Yes.
I think next week we're going to talk about the first step on that one. What is the first step? Just what is it called?
The first step is called share vision, or sometimes we refer to it as a 4-chair.
Or a discovery, kind of.
Yeah.
And that's like where you guys have seen us in the past. The last couple of videos we've done.
Yep.
We've been sitting in our 4-chair area, just a very relaxed, have a drink, sit down and talk.
Absolutely.
Just kind of mainly what that does, and don't want to go into a lot because I want to save that for next week.
Right.
But it just allows us to get to know who we're working with, and them to get to know us.
Yeah.
That's the first step of building trust. So once we do that, there's some other steps in there.
Yes, there are.
We'll get to what we'll call the 6th step.
Yes.
Which starts the firm price part of it.
Yes, it does.
So firm price, all we're really doing is when we want to lock in a price. So allow that. We go through some selections. We go through some different quoting with subcontractors.
Yeah.
We start narrowing down them selections so that way we don't have allowances.
Right.
You mentioned allowances earlier with like cabinetry and flooring and things like that. And what we want to do is eliminate that.
Absolutely.
Very rarely will we have allowances on anything.
Right.
Maybe in a country with septics.
Yep, that's
and
really
wells.
the only thing but before you ever really sign on the dotted line and really commit, and fully, that's when we decide your set day, decide all of that.
Absolutely.
Before that, you're going to know exactly what it's going to cost.
Yeah.
Because you're going to have come here, hung out with us for a few hours, and cranked out all those selections and pick everything.
Absolutely. And part of that, I mean, I know I'm kind of jumping through a lot of this, but there's not a lot of upfront money with any of this.
Yeah, there's not a ton. There's a little bit here and there.
I mean, and we'll just be brutally honest with people, like the only money that we really collect right out of the gate, not right out of the gate, but once we get into the process that somebody decides they want to possibly look at building with us, is once we get on a floor plan.
Yes.
And we decide on that, and we're like, okay, we're going to go with the elderberry.
Right.
And then we got to send it off to drafters.
Yep.
We have to have a buildable set of prints to be able to do anything. So that's the only time that we collect money is just to pay for them drafting fees.
Yep.
So otherwise, you don't, like, nobody is committed to building with us or locked in until they sign a contract. Right. And that's when they're going to pretty much know what their firm price is and what they're going to be paying for when it's said and done.
Yeah.
I know somebody has, like, some of the other questions we get is loans and things. So ultimately, one of these steps in here is I see a movie, I see appraisals, I see dream homes, I see a lot of different words, but appraisals. So that comes down to loans and money.
Right.
So some builders actually carry the loan for
Right.
some other clients. If they are, I think it's typically around here, it seems like more if they're in a development to an extent.
Yeah, typically it's
There's
more
the one-offs with the scattered lots.
Yeah, it seems to be more developers are
Yeah.
the ones who, you know, carry the construction loan, and then it's just like a normal home loan from
Absolutely. The nice thing is, I mean, we're going to find a banker that'll sit down,
Yeah.
whether it's over Zoom or whatever, so we can have a live chat with them. But ultimately, I mean, we're going to talk about construction loans.
Yes.
Because with Wausau and with us, we don't carry that loan, but we work very closely with the banks. So for our clients or our customers, our guests, there's no paperwork for them once they
Right.
get approved for that loan.
Yeah, once they're approved, it's basically just interactions between us and the bank.
Yeah, we take care of all the invoicing to the bank and all that side of it. So they just get approved for the loan. Once that construction loan, that house gets finished, that rolls into a full like normal mortgage.
Right.
So we're going to work on getting a banker to come and talk to us about that. I think
Yeah.
that'd be a great podcast going in depth on construction loans and the process of it. Because I think that kind of scares people sometimes.
A little bit.
But most people, I mean, it just rolls over pretty easily. They might have to sign another document or whatever, but the appraisal's already done and they know exactly what they're getting for their house.
Right.
So the last step that I know we're going to be up to like step 11 now, I think.
Something like that.
So it's called on time.
Yes.
So with on time, 2 sentences. What's on time mean?
Your house is going to be done when we say it is.
Absolutely, which is kind of nice.
Yeah.
Some builders, it drags on and on,
Right.
and others, I mean, there's weather that's going to factor in, but
Right.
ultimately we work very closely with our subcontractors to know what their time frame is, and the way that Wausau frames up a house.
Right.
And that's a whole nother podcast in itself, explaining that. But the way that we frame up a house and that we have the ability to have a fully weathered in house in roughly, I'd say on average, about 2 days,
Yeah.
which that just makes it go so much quicker.
It does. It really does.
So I think, that's kind of a lot of it, go through warranty, go through some of the other fun stuff. Because with us, there's parties.
Oh, yes. That's where I get to have some fun.
Ellen likes that. So there's some parties in there. We have a set day. We'll just call it what it is. We have a set day party. We have a housewarming party.
Yes, we do.
We have anniversary follow-up, groundbreaking. That can be kind of fun. Movie night.
Movie night.
We have a movie night. So there's a lot of fun stuff that we can do.
Yeah.
And I think once we can start going into some of it and maybe through some of the, like videos that we post on YouTube, after we edit some of them,
Absolutely.
we can post some of the, work on getting some of them added in, but maybe we can do a couple small 3D walkthroughs.
Yeah.
In some of these. So it's a lot of cool, exciting things that are going to be coming. Obviously, this is step 1 of podcast.
Yeah, it is.
Week 1, setting the baseline.
Yeah.
But I think we've touched on a lot of things for people.
Yeah.
And we'd ultimately want to keep podcasts very short.
Yep.
Some of them, Facebook Lives we want to keep fairly short.
Right.
People have lives. We like to respect that.
Yeah.
Podcasts, if we find a topic that we want to go on and on,
We may.
once we shut off the camera, we can go on and on. And you guys can catch it as you're driving down the road, just listen to our podcast
Absolutely.
and keep going. So I think with that, I'm pretty excited for
Yeah, absolutely.
the information that we'll be able to provide people
Absolutely.
and help just educate them and be that trusted advisor, what
Yeah.
you said.
Yeah.
Whether they build with us or whether they don't.
Right.
We want to just help educate
Right.
people. And I know you're always here,
I am.
or I'm always here usually.
One of us is always here.
Typically, I mean, we do have times where we have to step out of the office for appointments and stuff.
Yes.
But if people have questions, what can they do?
If people have got questions, reach out to us on Facebook.
Yep.
We both have Facebook on our phones and get notifications for that.
Absolutely.
Check out our website,
Yep.
wausauhomes.com, and then you can go under Find a Builder and go to Waverly. Come see us in the studio.
What's our address?
108 West Bremer Ave, downtown Waverly.
Okay.
So come see us.
If you get lost in Waverly, find 4 Queens.
We're right kitty corner from Four Queens.
Well, like Pretty Corner from that.
Real
so
important.
It's
So,
real important.
Just right by the bridge, by the river. So
Sometimes if you're lucky and it's in the summertime or it's somewhat warm out and Ellen gets a hankering for ice cream, she may just go over and buy you ice cream if you come in and start
true.
sitting down and having a
It's
floor
true.
chair with
I
us.
may. I may. And then also, we've got our office phone or
Yeah.
our phone numbers as well.
So our office phone is 319-559-2272.
Yep.
But I think overall, I mean, there's a lot of stuff that we're working on.
Yeah.
Touching quickly on it. So we have a winter build incentive.
Yeah. Winter build incentive. If you sign a contract between now and the end of April.
Yeah.
And sign a contract to build a house with Wausau, you get $3,000 off your closing costs.
Yeah. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
Covers a good chunk of them.
Yeah, it definitely does.
Also have a referral program.
Yes.
So we're launching something new for our referral program to the end of December.
Yes.
So
that is, I gotta remember.
It's normally $500.
Yeah, normally if you send somebody to build with us, it's $500.
And they have to set the house and build it, and then once the final dispersal of funds gets distributed to us, then we cut you a check for $500.
Yeah. So, but right now, if somebody comes and decides to build with us before the end of December, if they have told us that you referred them, you will get $1,500.
$1,500?
$1,500
for sending you somebody that builds a house.
Absolutely.
That is crazy easy money.
Yeah, it is.
Sign up all your friends. And then lastly, we have subcontractors that we work with.
Yeah.
Some of them might be on here. We might have to tag some of them in the post.
Yeah.
But if subcontractors send us somebody, they get $2,500.
Yeah.
So, we could hide all them costs. Realtors, obviously, they get a commission from us. We could hide all them and not tell you exactly what we're giving everybody. I like upfront honesty.
Absolutely.
It's easier, and there's no smoke and mirrors.
Absolutely.
It is what
We're all
it
about
is.
honesty here.
Absolutely. So it's been about 17 minutes.
Yeah.
I think it's time to cut this one off and say we will see you next week on Let's Build with Ellen and Dustin.
Yeah.
And we will be talking about shared vision.
Yeah, we will.
And the process, the first steps when you step in the door and you want to sit down and talk.
Yeah.
So with that, feel free, shoot us any questions you have, any comments you have, and we will catch you guys on the next video and podcast.
Yeah.